Welcome to Random in Tandem. I'm your co host, Eliza.
And I'm Natalie, and this is the podcast where we talk about random things together
In tandem.
in tandem. Yes. We interrupt each other quite often too.
We do. That's okay. Isn't that what friends do? Maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe I'm a bad friend. um, cool. What's shaking?
Fall season in Colorado. Obviously, everybody's going for hikes, and
Mm-hmm.
I did too. I
Oh,
had to
where?
have my 2020 fall pictures.
Yeah, where'd you go?
Just not far from Golden, Colorado. A lot of
Okay.
pretty areas there. Didn't want to drive 2, 3 hours away from town, so it was pretty good.
Yeah.
But the smoke is still pretty bad.
Mm-hmm. I noticed that going up to Boulder this past week. So bad. Um, I just moved and my window perfectly looks out at the trees and they're changing colors and it's gorgeous. In the morning, I sit in my little reading chair, have my coffee, and I just look and it's wonderful and the breeze comes through and I love it.
That's
I just had to
awesome.
share that.
Yeah, are you
Um,
on the first floor, second floor?
Third floor, which I said I would never do again after my last apartment because I hate climbing stairs. But here I am. So, yeah,
It's not too bad, right?
it's not. It's a pain because I have to take my dog out, Missy, to go potty several times a day. So that's the
Hmm.
pain is I have to go up and down them multiple times. And the stairs have holes in them, which is weird. So she can't walk down them. Her nails get stuck. So
Oh,
I have to carry her up and down, which is fine. She doesn't weigh a lot. She's tiny. Um,
hmm.
Whatever. That's life.
Yeah.
I don't know. Um, with the changes of the leaves and everything, what is your favorite season?
Well, it depends on where I live, I would say. It's funny because in Colorado and the United States, all the states that I have lived in, which is Nebraska, Ohio, and now Colorado, I feel like fall is definitely my favorite season. But when you think about my home country and my hometown, Ukraine, that wouldn't be the case.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Is it not
Well,
pretty fall leaves? I know nothing.
yeah, in my hometown, fall season actually is really rainy, so it reminds
Mm,
me of like London weather, rainy and humid, and you just don't want to be outside. And when you are outside, the weather is just the temperature is low, and it gets to your bone to where like, ugh, it's really cold.
wow. That
Yeah,
sounds kind of miserable.
yeah.
Are This might be a silly question. Is there any season in Ukraine where it's nice and breezy and not, like what season or time of the year would that be? I don't know.
Yeah, I think my favorite season in Ukraine would be spring because spring is really nice. There's a lot of like warmer rain and everything gets green and we get first fruit and vegetables pretty quickly as well. So for me, and I was born in May, so I'm like a spring baby. Like, yay.
That's
Spring
awesome.
is nice. Yeah.
That's
But when
interesting.
you think about just fall season in the United States and Colorado, it's just so gorgeous. I
Mm-hmm.
want to be outside, and every time I go for walks, I for some reason it takes me back to 2009 when I first came to the US and experienced a different type of fall season. And
Mm.
ever since then, this type of weather really brings back those memories from college back in 2009.
Are those good memories?
Yes,
Good.
absolutely.
Good. That's really nice.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite season?
Um, I think fall is my favorite. I do like the breeze, the cool weather. It's, crisp air, but it's not bone chilling. And there's just something about it. There's a smell in the air, if you will. I don't know. I really like it. I feel like that's probably been my favorite season as far as I can remember. I like spring too. I think I like spring better in California where there's no snow.
Mhm.
Where, I like it in Colorado too. I like Colorado's weather all year round, really. But I guess I haven't experienced fall in any other countries to know. I guess I didn't realize that. I don't know why that makes total sense now that it would be different somewhere else. That
Yeah.
you'd have a different favorite season depending on what country you're in. Um
Yeah, it's quite fascinating. And I was just talking to my cousin who lives in Germany, not far away from Berlin, and she said it's getting really cold and nasty outside right now ish. And I'm like, it's 90 degrees almost, 28 Celsius, you know? It's
mhm.
warm, hot days.
Yes. Yeah. It has been really warm. Michelle and I were just talking about that. It's just been so hot when we go out to go skating and just the sun. Ugh, it's October.
Hmm.
Um, Rainy, huh? Cold in Berlin this time of year. Dang it. Okay. Did she say it's not? It wouldn't be humid.
No,
Okay, thank God. I didn't even think
no,
about
it's
that.
just the
I can't do
temperature
humidity.
drops. Hmm.
And that's, I think, I like cold weather, actually, because, and I don't know why, I actually don't know why because, but a lot of the trips that I've done have been in winter time. A couple of years ago, um, JJ and I went to Europe for 3 weeks, and it was a winter trip. And bless her heart, she did not. She wanted to go to a beach, and I said, "Nope, we're doing winter in Europe." And we traveled around, and I actually liked it. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous to see. We went to see. We did Amsterdam, and then went down to Brussels, Paris, London. Spent New Year's Eve in London, and then Iceland, which is
Mm, in
fantastic.
winter. Yeah.
Yes, and it was amazing. I love it. I know there's something about it. It's the crisp air, I tell you. I don't know. Um and I run hot anyways. I feel like my body temperature is just, I mean, my temperature is fine, everybody. But I feel like I feel hot all the time. And like when I was in Russia during the winter, every time the train stopped, I rarely went out with my jacket. It was too flippin' hot. Um and it was
And
nice to just step outside. What?
I'm sure people were looking at you like, "Oh my gosh, she's not wearing her jacket. She's gonna get a flu."
Probably. Yeah, I wasn't wearing my jacket. And then one of the Australian guys wasn't wearing his pants. He went out
That
in
could
his
be.
boxers. He had his jacket on, but he went out in his boxers. Whatever. Um, but it was really, I don't know, I like the cold and the breezy. I like that stuff. I don't like it being, I like sunny days, but not when it's hot. I don't know.
I can't do hot weather either. I just wanted to say that we picked the wrong state because of the hot, hot summer.
Mhm. It's so hot here in the summer. Holy cow. Um I just wanted to say that Iceland is really, really, really fucking cool in the winter. That's all I wanted. It's like another planet. We rented a car and we drove up north, and it was like you were driving on another planet. It was so fascinating and so beautiful and interesting. And that's all I got to say. Anyways, I don't know.
What's interesting is I feel like we've visited different countries between two of us. Like, for example, I've been to Germany, Austria, and then you've been to Iceland and France and England and whatever else. And I'm like, oh, I haven't been to those countries, but love to go there one day.
Yeah. Oh, we should do a travel episode. Just saying.
Yes. Yeah.
That would be really cool.
Hmm.
Um,
So, speaking of fall season, do you have any favorite fall drinks?
I guess it's more of a winter drink.
Mm.
I like mulled wine
Oh, yeah.
so much. So much. It's so delicious, and not because it's wine, it's just there's something about it, it's just I like that. So I like cider, like warm, like apple cider stuff like that.
Yeah.
I guess I don't have any. I mean, you could spike it with something, that would be cool. I would drink that. Um,
Yeah.
you?
No, uh, it's funny, but in Ukraine, there's no fall drinks, like specialties. I know here everybody starts
Oh,
drinking
pumpkin
pumpkin
spice.
spice, apple cider, not a thing. But we all
Hmm.
drink gallons of tea every day.
What
You
kind of
know,
tea? Just
just black tea, hot tea, and then we
got it.
add some lemon, we add some honey, whatever else we want, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like that's what a lot of other countries do. I feel like we might be the at least the main one that really hypes up the pumpkin spice during the
Mhm.
fall. I think a lot of other countries are tea. Um no, there's like no, I'm trying to think. I'm not into pumpkin spice. I do like the peppermint when that comes out.
Yeah.
Um and then in January through
Hmm.
March, they also have a butterscotch. Just throwing that out there.
Hmm. I haven't
Um
tried that.
it's so good. So good. Um I guess butterbeer from Harry Potter, that would be my fall drink. World Market sells it. I buy it by the case. Case. That I forgot about. I need to go do that this season. Um, that shit is good, but very, very sweet, sugary.
Hmm.
I
I
don't.
don't think I would even, I can't even imagine what it would taste like.
It tastes like butterscotch. It really does. You're just drinking butterscotch, and it's just amazing. I don't. I love
Gotcha.
it. I love it.
I'm very excited for you to go to Berlin and experience one of their Christmas markets, and you get to walk
Yes.
around, drink your hot wine, Glühwein, they call it.
Oh.
And I think glue is happy, so it's happy wine. Maybe I'm
Oh.
wrong. I'm not too sure, but that would be
I'm gonna
amazing.
Google that. No,
Okay.
that sounds. We did Christmas markets in Amsterdam and Brussels, and it's just it's so neat. It's so wonderful, and I ate everything that they had at every stall I stopped. I'm pretty sure every photo that JJ took of me is me eating. Like it's just happiness on my face, and I'm eating, and it's amazing. I'm so excited to do the a Christmas market in Germany. I've always wanted to do that, and Jess, who works with me in the department that I work in, that I almost said, um, she is gonna come out next winter for my first Christmas there. She's gonna come out because she wants to go to a Christmas market, and of course we'll have break and everything. So she's gonna come out, and we're looking forward to it. So we've been talking about it. It's I'm excited.
Yeah.
Um, I want to Google
I've
what the
been
wine.
I've spent New Year's in Berlin with Kyle, and it was really cool that season.
Oh, that's awesome. When was that?
It was in 2011. We got married then, and Kyle lived in Ukraine with me. So to celebrate our wedding, sort of, how like honeymoon type of thing, we didn't do that
Mm-hmm.
right away. We just waited for the New Year's season, and then we went to Germany. And
That's awesome.
as part of the trip, we got to stay with the German family for those 5 days. It was really cool. It was an
That's
older
awesome.
couple, hmm very sweet people. It was a fun experience.
How did you get hooked up with them?
It was through my community. It was like
Mm,
a organized trip. All of the people, well, it was through my church actually in Ukraine.
okay.
And the trip, it's an annual trip for New Year's that we do, or they did. And I went to Belgium that way back in
Mm.
2006 or 7. And now we went to Germany, and it was awesome. we get to go and kind of get to know other groups that are Christian groups and kind of
Hmm.
see, talk about the idea of reuniting all the Christian groups and Christian churches and denominations. And it was fun. It was more like reflections on different topics where you have like Baptists and Catholics and some other
Oh,
people just talking to each other. And since it was my second time doing it, I was actually assigned to be a moderator of my group. And every day we would meet and I would lead the discussion. It was kind of cool.
that sounds a little scary. I don't know. I wouldn't want to do that. That sounds. I mean, that sounds cool though. That's really interesting. I feel like that would be really interesting to be a part of that, and yeah, talk with others and their views and experiences from different denominations.
Hmm.
Um, where have you spent New Year's Eve anywhere else?
No, I think those were the two kind of away from home destinations. How
Got it.
about you?
Um, London. I don't know what year that was. 2016 to 2017. So yeah, it's 2016, 2017, and then Russia. And I cannot say the town. I cannot pronounce it. Um, that was 2018 to 2019, and they're both really amazing. The London one, we were on the bridge and looking over the river, and they did fireworks. We had to stand there for hours, but it was totally worth it. It was amazing. It was a lot of fun. And the one in Russia, though, was really, really neat. We did part of my tour group. There were 11 of us, including our tour leader. And we got to have dinner and celebrate with a local host, two friends, and so they invited us to their apartment, and they all made they had food and everything, and drinks and everything like that, and it was really cool to sit around and just kind of chat with everyone. And then as it got closer to midnight, they were like, okay, we're gonna there's some traditions that we do that we're gonna invite you guys, and one of them was listening to Putin talk about whatever and ring in that. And then another one was everyone got a little piece of paper and you write down one wish for the upcoming year, and then you burn it and you put the ashes in your drink and you drink that at midnight. And that was really hard to do, but I did it. I did it. And then we went, and it was a small town, and it was a small apartment complex, and they had a tree out in like their whatever courtyard area. And at midnight, we went outside, and the other families had come out with their kids, and it was just really fun to be out. It was just a small group of people, and they were dancing around the tree, holding hands, and we got to be a part of that. And it was just so much fun. Um, it was just so different to experience it that way. Like after that, I was like, oh, I want to do New Year's Eve in all these different countries every time and experience their how they celebrate. I don't know.
So, how did you get involved with this tour? Like, I didn't even think it's a possibility or a thing, because you got to experience it with the hosts and you were connected with the community members. Usually, when I travel, I just stay in the hotel and then I walk around and I don't meet anyone, right?
Sure. Yeah. So it was a group that I traveled with on the train that I signed up for through Intrepid Travel. They're amazing. 100% recommend them. Our tour guide was fantastic. She was so good, and on the train she would teach us Russian and it was really fantastic. But their tour groups are small, so they're only 10 or 11 people per group, no matter, and they go everywhere. And so I went out for 3 weeks. I spent the first week by myself and to St. Petersburg, and then I went up north to Murmansk. That's not how you say
Hmm.
it, but yep. And the most populated city in the Arctic Circle. and then flew down to Moscow to meet the rest of my group, and then we took the train for 15 days. Um, and what I love about Intrepid is that they work with the locals where they stop. So they make sure they incorporate the locals, and that way it's benefiting them. They're giving back to the community, and you're getting that what I felt was a really authentic experience. Because what happened, we stayed with hosts numerous times, and that was really just really neat and really different. That I don't think I'd be able to get to do on my own. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
And those were different hosts as you were traveling throughout the
yeah, yeah. So we would so in that in one town we'd stay with them for a night, um, and they'd show us things, or we just hang out, whatever, and then we get back on the train and travel somewhere else and stop and hang out with that family, and just so neat, so neat. All the different foods and just history, and yeah, I don't know.
Did
I
you
love
do
Russia.
did you do any other trips with this company?
That's the only one I've done so far. This is the last trip I've been able to do, but I certainly have a list of trips saved in my account for them. I'm really excited to be able to get back and do more with them, that's for sure. And I
Cool.
keep in touch with most of the people from my group, including the tour leader. So we also
Mhm.
keep in touch, and just a wonderful group of people. I mean, you have to be like minded to end up in Russia in the winter, I think. I feel like there's something drawing you guys all together. Um, yeah,
Yeah, very
lovely.
cool. Mhm.
Um, if you could celebrate New Year's Eve anywhere in the world, where would you choose?
That's a good question. I don't really have a New Year's destination in my head just because I don't like winter. So for New Year's, I just don't mind staying at home. However, if I could be in a warm place
Mm-hmm.
for
I was gonna say
winter,
there are
I would,
warm places.
yes, I would probably pick southern part of France just because I can't wait to visit France. Yeah,
You've never been?
I've never been.
Oh, you should do that. You should do a pit stop there and then come visit me in Germany.
Yes, it's gonna happen.
Man, where at in France do you want to go? Everywhere?
No, just to begin with, I really want to visit the southern part, so south of France. It's like Saint-Tropez area, more like Provence. So it's warm and not big. I don't really, it's gonna sound weird, but I don't care for Paris. I just want to be away from that.
So, JJ and I thought the same thing. Like, but we're close, let's go check it out. But we weren't terribly thrilled. It wasn't like I didn't want to go. I could go, but it wasn't like a thing that I had to do. But we were so close, and we loved it. We loved it, and we were both surprised by how much we enjoyed it. But of course, it's big, and there's a ton of people and everything. But we had a lot of fun. I don't know other people's experience with locals in Paris, but we had very friendly people interact with us, and some guy, some waiter was trying to teach me French, and it didn't work out very well. So we enjoyed it a lot more than we thought we would. We are both surprised about that.
Yeah.
But certainly, I think the smaller towns we also enjoyed for sure.
hmm hmm
But
Yeah, sometimes I just dream about a day when I can go and buy a small studio apartment somewhere south of France where I can go there for like 2, 3 months a year just to enjoy
yes,
myself and then do an Airbnb or something like that. Airbnb
yeah, yeah.
for the rest of the year.
I think you should make that a 2-bedroom apartment so I can come stay.
Sounds good.
We can chip in together. I don't.
That'd be fun.
I don't know. I think I'd want to do New Year's Eve. I really want to. So I went to Tanzania a couple years ago. But that was during the summer. I've never did anything in the winter. Well, I guess. Anyways, I'm thinking in my head. I would really, and I had a great time. I love Tanzania. I love it so much. The people are fantastic. Um, I think like I'd want to go back there and celebrate New Year's Eve with a culture that's really different from what I know. It's not a European culture or anything like that. I think that would be really fascinating to do. A really uh, unique and fun experience. I'm gonna have to
Hmm.
put that on my list. I just
Hmm.
thought of that. But
Yeah. But honestly, I think the best time to travel for me would be September, October. So if it wasn't for the quarantine time this year, I would probably be already in France or coming back from France.
really, were you planning a trip?
Yeah, I was
Oh, I
pretty
didn't know
serious
that.
about it. I
Damn.
even had a map of France hanging in my office. I was like, this is happening. And so I had to visualize it and I marked with
Mm-hmm.
like dots the places I wanted to go. I looked up the train schedules and how to
Mm-hmm.
book things. But yeah, next time.
Damn. Did you guys push it back? Like, so if like next fall, if things are clear, you guys would go then instead?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's just difficult because things are piling up. I haven't been home in such a long time and then I want to travel. And then how
Yeah,
do I make both or three things work at the same time? So
that makes
it's
sense.
tough. Yeah. Gotta
You'll
work
get there
for a
someday.
company. Maybe like one day I'll have unlimited PTO and I can just go and vacation whenever I want.
I mean, if you're, if this podcast gets off the ground enough and your college nook stuff, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
then you can just work from wherever.
it's
That's my
true.
hope.
You never know.
You never know. Um, I also have this weird thing with, because I just said college nook, which reminded me, this weird thing that I associate seasons with academic years because I've been in college or worked at a college forever, it seems like. So I think in terms of that for some weird reason. Like I see when I lay out the year in like a strip, it's like spring semester, summer
Yeah.
semester, fall semester, winter break is at the end,
Mhm.
really
Mhm.
small. And that's, I mean, which still goes along with spring summer. Like I get that, but I also associate like what's going on with work, which is the same every fall semester when registration starts and all of those things when we're busiest. The fall, is it the fall fest or spring fling and stuff like that. So I associate all of that stuff, and yeah, I don't know where I was going with that, other than I think it's fascinating.
Yeah. I've I've never thought about that from that perspective. The seasons and
And
association with
this
the
the
academic year, for
semesters,
example.
got
Yeah.
it.
But it is true to some extent that, like in Ukraine, we have the first day of school in the entire country is September 1st. So
Oh,
everybody goes to school, elementary school kids, middle school kids, high school kids, colleges. Everybody starts on September 1st. And September 1st has been sort of announced as the first day of fall season.
okay.
Thinking of like the first of the September, not the whole sun, moon calendar, not
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And it's funny because it almost feels like the first week of September it's supposed to rain. The first day of school will be rainy and nasty. And I'm like, ugh, fall is here.
Oh, I could see why you don't like it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Especially if that's when like the first day of class. You know, that's really interesting. The whole country starts on the same day. We can't even do that in the one county. It seems like everyone's starting at a different. Well, colleges start at different times within this area, and it's different from when the high schools and junior highs started like it's all different. It seems like and their
Hmm.
breaks are different and all of yeah. Just cannot
Yeah,
get
I
on the same
noticed.
page.
Yeah.
But
It's kind of weird in my opinion, but whatever works, I guess.
yeah, I would hate like I've thought about it though to be a parent, so you work at a university and then which a lot do and their kids are going to school and their spring breaks are off or their fall breaks are off so they never get to spend that time together. That would be so annoying. Like I don't know why no one's thought of that. to they both and when the kids have that week off and the parents are working then they have to pay for childcare or day like whatever it is, instead of getting to do that family vacation or whatever. I don't know. I just think that's really shitty. But I'm not a
And in
parent, so
yeah, but in that regard, I think it's kind of nice because the things are pretty aligned when it comes to vacation, fall break, winter break for kids and their parents.
in Ukraine,
Hmm.
yeah, no, I
I
think
mean,
that's
when your
nice.
parents are educators, so,
Yeah,
but in
yeah,
other professions, it's not like that.
yeah. I don't know. I think maybe summer used to be my favorite as a kid. I think everyone loves summer, depending on where you're growing up at. Um, and I grew up in Northern California, so and we had a pool, so that was pool time. And I would beg my dad to open the pool in as early as he would let me, which was usually in April, which was still pretty chilly in Northern
Wow.
California. Um, April or May, I would get him to take the cover off, and I would usually be the first one in. I would jump in there, and a couple times it had been raining, and I would still just jump in. Just it was flipping cold. Um, but I used to just love that, spending all those hours out in the pool. And I mean, as a kid, then you'd get out and I'd play with my Barbies, I'd dry off and I'd get back in the pool, with my cousins, or the time I made a boat for my Barbie and pulled
Wow.
her around in the pool. Yeah, you know, creative kid. Um, but now, I don't, there's no, like this past several summers, I haven't even gotten outside for a hike, haven't no camping, no nothing. No out on any lakes and it's been a bummer. So now like I don't look forward to summer because automatically it feels like automatically I'm not going to get to do anything. Like
Is it
those
because of the hot weather?
I don't know. No. I don't think so. I think it's more of my life, just life. It seems like life gets in the way, I guess. There's always stuff going on and I'm too exhausted otherwise outside of those times, on the weekends or whatever to go do anything. And the past couple years I've been dealing a lot with my mental health, so that's made it difficult as well. And taking classes over the summer has made it difficult. So I guess it's my fault. But but this past summer I could have gotten out and I didn't. And it just seems like it just goes by faster and I don't know. It makes me sad. So
Yeah.
it's summer's not summer. I don't know, but
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like I'm a fraud living in Colorado without even enjoying the real Colorado lifestyle.
mm-hmm,
And same happens to me in the summer. I can't stand the hot weather, and so it would mean I have to get up super, super early, get somewhere, drive for 2 hours, to then hike for an hour, to then drive for 2 hours to come home. Like, what's the point? I'm gonna just walk around my neighborhood. And
yeah,
then camping gets very complicated in the States. With this whole RV situation is so new to me. Like, no, we camp, we, I don't know, take a bus or a train, they drop us off, you go into the woods, you put a tent, and that's it. Here you have to reserve the spot, you have to
mm-hmm,
know the camping ground for tents, for RVs, for something else. I'm like, I don't even know how to navigate this. It's so overwhelming. I'm not doing it.
That's interesting. There are a lot of backcountry campsites, at least in Colorado, which is nice. I've never been to any of those. Usually it's the places where you car camp, I guess. And
Mm.
I'm used to that. That's how we grew up doing stuff like that. Um but I've always just wanted to do the backcountry where you just you just walk out with your backpack and all your stuff, and it's just anywhere in this area. But even then, it's designated areas only that you
Yeah.
can freely camp in. So you even have to know all of that.
Yeah.
And it gets really crowded. It gets crowded, and yeah, it's unless you do. My friends and I went camping once up in Estes Park in March,
Ooh.
and during that time it was a for just first come first serve, and there were a few, and it was a popular campsite up there, and there were a few other people, but that was the time to go. We got a prime spot just right looking at Long's Peak. It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous, I tell you. um and but there's no way that we could have ever probably gotten that spot any other time of the year when they were open, definitely not in the summertime.
Yeah.
um yeah.
I just remember my camping trips when I was a teenager. It was so cool. And our next kind of like camping ground neighbors were kind of far away. And when you say it gets crowded, like that defeats the purpose of the camping experience because I don't want to see or
Mm-hmm.
talk to anyone. I just want to be in the nature. So I
Yep.
don't know.
Yeah,
But I'm
like
sure.
yes, is the camp spots are so close together. The ones that that we all have, the reserved or whatever, they're all so close together, and it's yes. I don't want to hear your conversations. I don't want it. I don't want nothing. I don't want to hear your
Yeah.
car. I don't want to hear anything. Um, it completely defeats the purpose.
Well, it's
But
gonna be good, interesting for me to see because I have my friends coming back from California to Colorado and they're avid hikers and travelers. Maybe they end up figuring this out, camping situation, and I'll just follow them.
yeah, there are some places up north that Kelsey went to maybe last year, and it was just open space, and she loved it, and I don't think it was too terribly crowded. I don't remember where exactly it was at, so it's not very helpful to anyone. She seems to know of a lot of good places that are more kind of open, not exactly campgrounds themselves.
Hmm.
I don't know. There just seems like a lot of effort,
Hmm.
or more so, it seems like a far drive to get to those. So you spend a couple hours driving and then a couple hours hiking in with your stuff. That's half of your most of your day is gone. And then you pack up in the morning and go back if you're doing like a weekend trip. I don't know.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem
Nah,
very
might as well
easy.
do a tent in the backyard
Yeah. No, that's
park.
true. It's
I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah. No. I wouldn't mind an RV though. I don't like mm, just so I can go places. I can go anywhere with my RV. That's what I would do.
True.
I would just travel around if I was rich. Yep.
I think one day we will have all those plans realized. Camping with RV throughout the United States area and then traveling across Europe on the trains. I think it's going to be great.
Yes. Yes. And when I get to Berlin, this is what I want to do. I want to focus on, well, getting a job, going back to school. But thirdly, I would like to focus on building an Outlander vehicle, because then I'll be in such a prime location that I'll be able to travel down to Central Asia and go through those countries where you need 4-wheel drive, and it's going to be camping for sure. Like you don't not going to have a lot of accommodation along the way, and even through Russia and stuff. So I'm really, really really excited about that. Yeah. Anyways, I just thought of that.
That sounds scary to me.
No, it's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be so great. Because
Yeah.
then you just set up, you're by yourself, and you can sleep in your car. A lot of people have like the campers on top that you pop up or whatever. I don't know, you're so independent and you can go wherever you want. Be careful about that though. Yes, but
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't know.
Well,
Seems
here's to our
exciting.
future travel plans. I hope they all
Yes.
come true.
Yes. I agree with that. I don't have a drink to cheers with. Well, is it time to go outside and enjoy a little bit of the fall breeze?
Yes, absolutely. My walk is actually nope. I still need to do my little daily walk in the park, so this is going to be a perfect time to do that.
Yay! Woo! I'm gonna take Missy out to go potty because she's staring at me. And I can feel the breeze. I'm excited about it. Before we go, though, I have one last thing to celebrate the fall season. This
What
seemed
is
like a
that?
good idea in my head. It's nothing.
Oh, leaves.
Fall!
Everybody, there are leaves in Eliza's apartment. It's real.
I did. I was picking them up this morning, and I think people thought I was nuts. So I was just going by, is picking up, and I talked to myself, ooh, that's a good one. Ooh, that's pretty. Look.
I can hear them. That's awesome.
Now my cat
Well,
wants to play with them.
maybe you are doing some kind of fall decoration at home. Who knows?
Yeah, they don't know. They don't. I wish they would have asked me though. I'd have been like, I'm doing a podcast. Random in tandem. Check it out. Cool. Well, this is a good conversation.
I think we will resume our travel plans in the next few episodes.
Yes, I do think that we should talk more about our travel stuff. All right. Well, chat with you later.
Sounds good?
All right.
Bye.
Bye.